Good afternoon, Valeria. It's so nice to see you.
Good afternoon.
How are you today?
I'm good. How
Good.
are you?
So glad to hear that. I'm going to begin with an introduction of you and of the project, and I'll start with a short biography about you. Okay. So today is Tuesday, April 18th, 2023. Valeria Beheda is originally from Chernivtsi, Ukraine. She moved to the United States 1 year ago in April of 2022 and now lives with her family in Potomac, Maryland. She speaks Ukrainian and English. She's been a student at Montgomery College since January of this year. She is majoring in business, and in her spare time, she enjoys art, photography, and singing. So welcome, Valeria. My name, as you already know, but I will say this so that anyone watching this video knows, my name is Heather Bruce Satrom, and I teach an ELAP, English Language for Academic Purposes, at Montgomery College. This project is called History in the Making, documenting stories of immigrant and refugee students at Montgomery College. The goal is to help others better understand the experiences of immigrants and refugees in the United States. Telling your story will enable others to better understand the challenges that immigrants and refugees face and to better appreciate the resilience and persistence of people in your community. And so I'm so grateful for your participation. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today.
Thank you.
You had a chance to read the questions in advance, but please note that all of these questions are optional. If you don't want to answer a question, just say, I'd like to skip that. That's fine. If you need a break at any point, that's also fine too. And we'll talk for about an hour today. So let's begin with, could you tell me your full name, please?
My full name is Valeria Beheda, and the spelling is VALERIA BEHEIDA.
Thank you. And do I have permission to record this interview?
Sure.
Thank you. All right, so tell me a little bit about when and where you were born.
I was born on 15th of October in 2004 in the city on the west of the Ukraine, which is called Chernivtsi. It is a beautiful city which is known for its architecture, and some people call it also a small Paris because it has like this beautiful cozy atmosphere and ancient architecture of
This
like
is beautiful.
European cities.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the city where you grew up and what you enjoyed doing when you lived there, what it looks like a little bit more?
So I guess it's like a small city, I would say, and everyone knows each other. And if not anyone knows each other, then we know someone that know this person. So it's like someone like everyone is being in connection, and the atmosphere is so friendly. And I guess I like the architecture most. And it actually reminds me of Vienna, which is in Austria, for its architecture. And I just like walking there and just hanging out with my friends and family. It's just
It
my
sounds like
safe
a
place.
beautiful place.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about the home that you grew up in? Did you live right in the city? Did you live in an apartment building or a house? Tell me a little bit about that.
So I grew up in the apartment and I lived in the city center. And my apartment is not that big, but everyone has their own room. And my room is entirely beige and has like wardrobe, big windows. It's like my favorite part of my room because I was like staring at the window, and I have this beautiful tree outside my window. And when it's getting like when it's fall and the fall leaves begin to grow, it's like the best feeling. And I guess um, the best part of my apartment is the artworks of Yevgenia Hapchinska, which is my mom's favorite artist, and we have like lots of her artwork at home. Yeah. And also we have a terrace, which is also my favorite place in my apartment. And I was like just sitting there and looking at the nature.
That sounds really beautiful. I imagine you miss that very much.
Yeah.
Has your city been directly impacted by the war?
It wasn't directly impacted by the war, but still lots of men and women from my city joined the army, and lots of them die. So I guess um, that's how it was impacted. And also, almost every day there are air raid sirens, so it's hard to live there, and that's
I can
kind of tough.
imagine. And it sounds very, very difficult. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. Um, One thing you mentioned in an earlier conversation with me was about your education and going to school with the same group of friends for many years. Could you describe that?
Yeah, that was actually, I guess that was helpful because we knew each other like from the 5, 6 years old, and we were all friends. So I guess that's the best feeling when you can study and be around your friends. It's just easier to perceive information while you're being in a friendly group.
So did you begin going to school with this same group like around age 5 all the way through the end of high school?
Yeah.
Wow. So you got to know each other very, very well. How many people were in that core group?
So we started with the number of 35 people, but then it just got less, and we graduated from school, and there were like 21 students in my class. But I guess two last classes made us more like friendly, I guess. We became true friends, like I guess till the end of our lives.
Are you still in touch with some of them through social media or WhatsApp? How do you communicate with your friends who are still in Ukraine?
We try to call each other by FaceTime or just texting in the Instagram. But still, it's not the real communication that we had.
No, it's not. It's different when it's virtual. I understand that. Could you tell me a little bit about your family when you were growing up? Who you lived with when you were a child and a teenager, and maybe just a little bit about your family.
So my family consists of my mom, my dad, and my older brother. My mom is working as a teacher in the kindergarten with kids who have musculoskeletal diseases. And my dad is private entrepreneur. He works for Ukrainian firm which is working with windows and selling windows. Um, and my older brother is still studying. So he got his master's degree in law, and not the law, but in economy. But and now uh, he's proceeding with his higher education, and he's trying to get his bachelor's degree in law.
Is he still in Ukraine now, or is he here in the United States?
Yeah, my father, my brother, and my grandmother are still in Ukraine.
And is your brother serving in the military right now?
No, not yet.
And so when you came to the United States, did you come just with your mother?
Yeah,
Yeah, I imagine you miss your brother very much.
yeah.
Um, I think a lot of people here in the United States are paying attention to what's happening in Ukraine. But it would be really helpful for people who want to learn more about that situation if you could explain a little bit about the situation that was happening a year ago that made you and your mother decide to come to the United States. Can you tell me a little bit about what was happening at that time?
So it started on the 24th of February in 2022 at around 3 a.m. in the morning. And everyone was sleeping and it just started. And some cities on eastern Ukraine got impacted like so much. And they were just bombed without any that stuff.
It's hard to talk about. I understand. I appreciate you sharing this with us.
And Russian army got into those cities and they were just abusing, raping, and killing innocent people. So that's when my mom decided that it would be safer for me somewhere else.
Did you come through a refugee program, or did you have family here, or did you come as an international student? How did you make the journey here?
So I actually thought that I'm gonna go back soon to Ukraine, that it's gonna end soon, but it hasn't ended yet. And I got my travel visa and then I got the temporary protected status here. But I didn't plan that I will stay here for that long. I just thought it's gonna end soon.
Do you have relatives here in Maryland, like extended family?
Yeah, I have here my aunt, uncle, and my cousins, and they have American citizenship. So they just hosted us here.
And I know you said that you had planned just to come for a short amount of time and then go back to your home country, but that did not happen. That hasn't happened yet. So you had graduated from high school in Ukraine, and were you about to start your college studies there, your university studies in Ukraine?
I started my first year in the University of Ukraine at the Department of Foreign Languages, and my specialty was English literature and English language and another foreign language. And I finished my first year. We started offline, but then when the war started, we had a little break, and then we proceeded with online education.
It must have been very frustrating to start your program and then have to end, to come here and then to think about, okay, now what? What do I do now? I think it's interesting that you studied English literature. Did that also include American literature, or were you focused more on British literature?
We actually was focusing on any literature, but it was kind of complicated because we were studying like not only English literature but Ukrainian literature in English translation and
Interesting.
Latin translation, so that was tough.
Could
But
you, I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah, that was just kind of complicated, but we didn't really start studying like only American or only British literature.
Are there any writers that are particularly important to you, or any books that are particularly meaningful to you that you want to talk about?
I guess that's a tough question. I actually like to read, but I don't think that there is like my favorite book or something like that.
Is there a Ukrainian writer that you would recommend to American readers, a writer that's important to you that you think maybe Americans should read books by this author to better understand Ukrainians?
I guess Olesya Ukrainka and also actually Taras Shevchenko is like classics, so I don't think that like everyone should read it. but still it's important to know like some of his work, yeah, works, I
Well,
guess.
I will try to include links to the writers you mentioned and to the artists that you mentioned as well, whose works are in your home in Ukraine, so that people can see those. So you eventually heard about Montgomery College and decided to enroll. How did you hear about Montgomery College?
My aunt was actually studying there, oh, like maybe 20 years ago, but
Oh,
still,
wow.
she recommended me that I should go there, um, just just to try it. It's just the experience, so I wouldn't waste my time and I would try something new. And American education is clearly better than Ukrainian, I guess. But
That's
I guess it's
interesting.
just the experience.
When you say it's better, could you explain the differences that you've noticed? I'm curious about that.
I guess it's just the level of education. In in Ukraine is also great, but um, here it's more student oriented, I guess.
Oh, that's interesting. Can you say more about that? How you felt like it's student oriented?
Um, I guess like everyone, it's here it's like also communal learning, but um, students are can perceive the information by themselves and in class as well. And if you ask the professor, they would always help. I guess that's the difference. In Ukraine, it's not always like that. However, like some of the professors also help a lot, but not all of them.
I'm glad you're having a positive learning experience at MC. I understand that you're in Professor Alicia Sanderman's Eli 990 class. That's the capstone course in the English language program. So you placed into the highest level. Congratulations. How are you taking other classes at the same time, or are you just focusing on that capstone course, which I know has a lot of work in it because I also teach that class?
For now, I only sorry about that.
That's okay.
Yeah, for now it's only this class.
Mhm.
But I'm planning to take other classes in summer and more classes in fall semester.
And are you planning to major in business? Is that right?
Um,
Or are
I
you still
haven't
thinking
decided
about?
yet, but I guess business.
Okay, you have time to figure it out. Can you tell me a little bit about what you've learned in your capstone course in ELAP? I know you've already studied English for a long time, but what are you learning in the class that's been helpful or interesting or useful to you?
So when I was in Ukraine, I thought that I can write essays like flawless, perfect. But when I came here, I figured out that it's not that perfect, and I need to focus on that more. And that's helpful that we write essays almost every class and a lot of good vocabulary. I guess that's helpful.
I think that is a very common reaction to a lot of students. Like they studied English for a long time and then they come here and they're like, oh my gosh, I still have more to learn about, especially about writing academic English. It's very challenging. Do you ever go to the writing center or use any resources, the library, anything like that at MC? It's what has been useful to you in your learning?
So I've been visiting online writing center, and it was actually really helpful because I was not sure about my mistakes, and they helped me to find out what are my patterns that I keep making. And I guess that was helpful so I can just solve all my mistakes and do better on final exams.
I'm glad that that's been a helpful resource for you. Have you gotten involved with any, now I know you're new to MC and new to the area, but I'm curious if you have become involved with any activities with student life on campus, or if you've joined any student clubs or gotten involved in any way with
Um,
student life.
Not yet, but I will in the future. So I have like almost 2 years
You have,
here, so I guess I will do that.
and have you made some friendships in your capstone course in the Eli 990?
Yeah, so I have two friends. One is from India and one is from Mongolia. And I guess that's helpful that we can share our traditions and share our cultures in this class.
I think that's one of the things that makes MC really special, is that we have the opportunity to meet people from all over the world,
Yeah.
especially in the ELAP program. So I think that's really exciting that you now have friendships with people from other places. Is it hard to meet American people? Sometimes students tell me that it's hard to have friendships with American people. Have you found that?
I haven't found like any friends that are American, but I guess it's not that hard. It's just the difference in the cultures. So it's hard to find something in common. It's not like that it's hard to find someone.
Sometimes my students will say to me, oh, American people are so busy, they don't have time for friendships. And sometimes they say that we're very private people. I don't know if have you found that to be the case?
Yeah, I guess so. It's just like that Americans are so hardworking and they work all the time. So it's kind of hard to find free time to hang out with friends or go somewhere.
I think a lot of students have that experience. And it is so important, I think, when you're trying to establish a friendship or maintain a friendship, to carve out that time. So that's interesting. You mentioned that in your class, you have the chance to learn about each other's culture. And so I would love to ask you a little bit about Ukrainian culture. One thing that you mentioned to me that is important to you is celebrating Easter, and I understand the Orthodox Ukrainian Church celebrated Easter this past Sunday. And you mentioned that there are some traditions associated with that. I would love for you to share a little bit, if you could, about Easter and traditions that are important to you.
So I guess it's kind of a tradition to go each Easter to the church, and we need to bless our baskets, and we typically put like Easter cakes and Easter eggs, and we call them krashenki or pisanki. They just vary. The krashenki are just Easter eggs that are colored, and pisanki are Easter eggs with ornaments, and they symbolize vows or um, good health or something like that. And it's different in every region in Ukraine. And also, we put like some vegetables or something like that, and we just go there to the church and we need to bless them. And after that, we have Easter. Um, I would say lunch, because we wait a lot of time in the church so that our baskets will be blessed. And after that, I guess and after that we have egg fight, and
You have an egg fight?
yeah.
Oh, that's fun. Is there, I'm familiar with this tradition in the Mexican community where there's confetti put inside of the egg. Is it a similar idea where you?
Oh, it's like boiled egg
Uh-huh.
and with ornaments or just colored eggs, and we need to fight with them, and who wins, and this person will be. It's like will be um, good year for this person.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Do you have any eggs that you could, like near you that you've decorated that you could show?
I actually got some photos of them.
Oh, good.
Didn't really decorate them, but we this year we just colored them in yellow and blue as a Ukrainian flag,
For the Ukrainian colors.
like
Ah,
that.
hey, thank
So
you for
it
that.
was just, I guess, appropriate this year and last year. And also that's how the baskets look like.
Oh, lovely, lovely. And
Yeah.
maybe you can send me those photos and then I'll put them up on the website later. I think you also mentioned there are certain foods that are associated with Easter. There was it babka? Is that what you were talking about
Yeah,
last time?
and it's like Easter cake, which is um it is made with different like raisins and different toppings, and you can add like anything that you want, but it has to have like this white top, and that's like a tradition, I
Do you
guess, and everyone
have a
likes
picture of
only
that?
the top of this cake.
Do you have a picture of that or no?
We didn't do this 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 year, but I will try to find it so I can
Okay,
show you
that would be
from
great.
the last year.
Typically, is that something that you would make at home with your family before
Yeah,
Easter?
we try to do it with my mom, and also I do it almost every year with my grandma,
It's nice.
but it's like not the same this year.
Not the same, I know. I'm sorry. So did you find a Ukrainian church here where you have a community of Ukrainians? And can you tell me a little bit about that?
Uh, we found actually on Easter we go to the another church because of I don't know, it's like a tradition in this family, so we go to the same church. And we actually found the community in Saint Andrew Church, which is also in Silver Spring. And I guess everyone there is just friendly, and there are a lot of refugees from Ukraine. It's just helpful to be around them because they understand the feeling of being just so far away from home. And
It's so important
also,
to find a community. Absolutely.
yeah. And also, I'm gonna be painting some of the cutting boards for their event on the 13th of May, and to sell them and to send some money for the Ukrainian army.
Do you have one that you could hold up and
Yeah.
show on camera? Oh, that's really beautiful. That's lovely.
It's a Ukrainian ornament which is called Patrikivka. And I just want to keep it simple and Ukrainian. I don't know. It's like just cherished traditions, I guess.
Would you say that your religious faith is helpful to you, coping with loneliness or with sadness that you feel related to being in a different place?
I guess so, but I guess my artwork help me more, helps me more.
You mentioned that you really enjoy painting and taking photographs, especially photographs in nature.
Yeah.
Do you have any pieces of art that you could share on camera with us and tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I actually experiment a lot with structures, and I like to add some materials that are not connected with the painting. So that is
Oh,
work.
that's
And
lovely. So these are ballet dancers?
yeah,
Oh, tell me a little bit more about this. Like, did you paint? It's hard to see. So you painted it, and then you also are
Yeah,
there
and I added
objects?
some of the fragments from the Ukrainian articles, and they are like dated back in the 1950s. And it's kind of controversial because it's like um Swan Lake, and it's like more like a Russian tradition. I don't know, like they all their dancers are in the Swan Lake, but I added some fragments from the Ukrainian article, so it's kind of controversial, but I like it, I
Can you
guess.
hold it up again one more time?
Yeah. Oh, and I also added some of the fur on
Oh, the feathers. It's really beautiful. When did you make this piece of art?
maybe 2 months ago. And I also made one more, but it's not like really related to anything. I just wanted to
Those are
try
beautiful
something.
avocados.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about that artwork. What were you like? What emotions were you feeling when you painted it, or what were you trying to express? Was it just about the beauty of the fruit, or is it related to something else?
I guess I was just trying to concentrate on something except the war. So I was trying to find a little bit of peace, and I decided to paint. And that's really relaxing. I like avocado, so that was main
Love that.
point of this painting.
I think finding a creative activity to distract you sounds like a helpful way to cope with the emotions that I'm sure you're feeling about being far from home. Do you have any other pieces of art that you want to share?
Yeah, this one is my latest work,
Oh,
and
so beautiful. Tell me about this.
it's a portrait of my friend, and the reference was actually my photography work. I can show you this right now. 1 second. Um,
Oh my goodness. Can you hold both up at the same time? Is that possible? Wow. So beautiful. You really captured her likeness. Have you sent a photo of the drawing to your friend?
yeah,
How did she respond?
she was actually amazed and surprised because she didn't expect that I would paint her.
It's really beautiful. Do you want to talk a little bit about your friendship with her?
We are not actually in touch like we were in Ukraine, but still, I guess we have like a good relationship as acquaintances more right now. It's just hard to keep in touch with all of the friends back in Ukraine. They just find new friends or they have other activities, so there's not enough time to communicate actually.
It's really hard. Do you have any other pictures you want to share? I know you also take photographs.
Yeah, I can share.
And feel free to send me any pictures that I can upload them later to share with people who are interested.
So I guess my artwork is more in beige tones because it's my favorite color, and I just find it relaxing and calm, this color. So it was in Vienna
Oh,
before the war.
those are beautiful photographs.
And those are my friends.
Oh,
I just like to capture my friends when they are smiling so I can show like their true emotions.
Now that you're living here in Maryland, do you go out in nature here to any parks or gardens and take photographs here?
Um, Actually, we moved with my relatives to another place. But back in the old house, there was like a lake, and I was just walking around there like every day. It was relaxing for me, so I can just sit there and just meditate. I guess it's distracting, and it also helped me to cope with my emotions.
I think a lot of students in your situation experience the same thing, that being outside, having a chance to walk or be in nature can be really helpful. I've heard other students say the same thing. Thank you for sharing that. Um, I had a few other questions for you. Um, I know that your future is uncertain, and of course, the future of Ukraine is very uncertain. Um, but when you imagine the future for yourself and for your country, say maybe 5 years in the future, what do you imagine or what do you hope for?
I just hope that it will end as soon as possible, and maybe some of the families reunite, some of the families that have a chance to reunite, because lots of people died and not everyone will have a chance to meet with their family members again. And that's just so complicated and sad, because a lot of young people, children die there, and they will not have a chance to meet with anyone from their family again. It's just so hard that some of them didn't really have a chance to say goodbye. They didn't know it was the last time they see each other. But I hope that it will end soon, and maybe some of foreigners, some of the volunteers from another countries would help us to build some of the cities from the very beginning, because cities like Bakhmut, Mariupol, and Kharkiv, and eastern parts of the Ukraine, they were just destroyed by the Russian army. So I guess we will need help from other countries.
This is so hard to talk about, and I really appreciate your courage in speaking about this. I know it's not easy. I'm really grateful that you're sharing how you're feeling and your hopes. Um, is there something that you would like American people to know about Ukraine, or something that you think something that's important for Americans to understand about Ukraine or about the situation now?
I guess not only like Americans, but European people and people from other countries. They, not all of them, but still, a big part of those people don't even know where the Ukraine is situated. However, it's like the center of Europe. So I guess I just want that those people will get to know a little bit about the Ukraine itself and the culture, the traditions, and just to try to be more sympathetic to the people who were affected by the war, I guess. It's just not all of them understand that we didn't come here because of how it was bad in Ukraine or something like that. We just came here because of the circumstances, because of the war. But if we had a chance, if there wasn't a war, we wouldn't move here, I guess.
Your life has been completely disrupted by events that are totally out of your control. And I can only imagine how that feels. I know I speak for a lot of Americans when I say that I have a lot of admiration for the Ukrainian people and for the fight that you're putting up, and that I think Ukraine has really inspired a lot of people. And I hope that your country will get the support that it needs. How do you feel right now? Like, what emotions are you experiencing as you're describing this?
I guess I feel some kind of relief that I can share those emotions. But also, I feel really mad at Russia because they try to destroy my country. That's just so devastating what is happening in Ukraine.
It's understandable to feel that mix of emotions, and I'm really glad that you are taking the time to share those so that other people can better understand. Is there anything else that you'd like to add to the conversation today?
I guess no.
I hope that you'll continue doing your artwork. Maybe take some art classes at MC, because we have a great art program and there are some opportunities for students to share their art. So after we stop recording, I'll send you some information about that. And I want to thank you again for sharing your experience and your thoughts. Really grateful for you taking the time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.